For 18 years, they were the American Motorcycle Rebels, a vision of a different kind of American muscle, built for the 21st century. They had raw power, carved corners with precision, and according to a legion of devoted owners, offered a level of dependability that made them a legitimate alternative to the king, Harley-Davidson. Then in January 2017, just as their innovative spirit was burning brightest, their own parent company, Polaris, pulled the plug. This wasn't a gentle fading away. This was a corporate execution. So what really happened to the one brand that truly had Harley-Davidson looking over its shoulder? To understand the end, you have to picture the beginning. It's 1997. The American motorcycle world is dominated by the undisputed champion, Harley-Davidson. The demand for their bikes is so immense that they can't build them fast enough, and their formula is perfected. This is the ideal scenario for a challenger, an established king ruling a massive kingdom. Into this arena stomps Polaris, a Minnesota powerhouse famous for snowmobiles and ATVs. They saw a massive opening for a brawny American-made V-twin that wasn't just an echo of the past, but a genuine haymaker aimed at the top. Their mission was beautifully defiant. Build a better American cruiser from a clean sheet of paper, mixing classic soul with modern engineering. And in 1998, they fired their first shot, the Victory V92C. It was a declaration of intent. At its core was a massive 1507cc V-twin, the biggest production cruiser engine on the planet at the time. Everything about it was designed to be a step forward. From its sweeping fenders that channeled 1930s style to the fuel-injected engine, it was modern where it counted. It was proudly American-made with a couple of smart exceptions. Italian Brembo brakes and British fuel injection system, signaling that performance mattered above all else. And it worked. Victory got a reputation for being the brand that actually tried new things. They dropped iconic models like the Vegas in 2003, a sleek factory custom from legendary designer Michael Song that proved Victory could be drop-dead gorgeous on its own terms. Then came the Hammer, a muscle-bound beast with a fat rear tire that looked like it ate other cruisers for breakfast. And the showstopper, the Vision, a tour so futuristic it looked like it crash-landed from another galaxy, grabbing the attention of everyone in the industry. For a while, Victory was on a roll. The brand was growing, turning profitable, and winning awards. But most importantly, they were winning over riders. In owner surveys, Victory consistently scored at the top for reliability and rider happiness, proving they were a force to be reckoned with. They built a fiercely loyal tribe of riders who wanted a powerful American bike without joining the flock. It really seemed like the challenger had arrived, proving that a little competition makes everyone better, even the champion. Then, the fatal blow, the moment that sealed Victory's fate, even if no one knew it, landed on April 19th, 2011. That was the day Polaris announced it had bought one of the most mythical names in motorcycling history, Indian. Founded in 1901, Indian was America's first motorcycle company. The original brand had been dead for over 50 years, but the name, that name had a ghost, a power you simply cannot build in a lab. It was the one name that could match Harley-Davidson's historical weight. At first, Polaris spun it as a two-brand attack. Victory would be the modern performance brand, Indian would be for the classic, heritage-obsessed buyer. It sounded great in a PowerPoint presentation. Polaris CEO Scott Wine even said the lessons learned from Victory gave them the confidence to tackle Indian, promising it would be its own autonomous business. But the family dynamic shifted overnight. It's like you're the kid who worked hard and built a successful business, and then your dad brings home a long-lost brother who happens to be a world-famous movie star. Suddenly, all the energy, R&D, and marketing dollars that had been laser-focused on Victory were now split with a rival living under the same roof. And that rival had a much better story for confronting the market leader. How do you possibly market the new American motorcycle when you now own the first American motorcycle? Even worse, the two brands were fishing from the same exact pond, chasing the same V-twin customer. Dealers who once bled Victory colors now had their own showrooms flooded with Indian chiefs, banners, and merch. Whether intentional or not, the message from Polaris became brutally clear. Indian was the premium, historic brand with the potential to challenge Harley head-on. Victory was the successful but now secondary in-house experiment. Industry analysts saw the writing on the wall immediately. Victory's sales hit their peak in 2012, the year just before the new Polaris-built Indian stormed the market, and then began a steady, heartbreaking slide. The arrival of Indian didn't just create competition, it started a civil war that Victory was destined to lose. The years after the Indian acquisition were a painful, slow bleed out for Victory. The first problem was the cold, hard math of capitalism. Victory was struggling to make money, losing it in 3 of its final 5 years. By 2015, after nearly 2 decades of fighting, Victory motorcycles accounted for a measly 3% of Polaris' total sales, while the new kids, Indian and the 3-wheeled Slingshot, were already pulling in a combined 12%. The numbers were ruthless. That financial pressure led to the second problem. The innovation felt diluted. While Polaris was dumping a fortune into engineering all new engines and show-stopping models for Indian, Victory lineup felt forgotten. New models often just meant bold new graphics. The thrilling innovation that had defined Victory's early years, the very thing that made them a threat, seemed to grind to a halt as resources were redirected. The brand built on being the future was suddenly looking like yesterday's news, and riders could tell. And the final nail in the coffin was brand identity. In the V-twin universe, heritage is cash. Harley-Davidson built a global empire on a century of it. To compete with that, you need a story of your own. Indian, once reborn, could tap into the same powerful nostalgia. Victory, for all its superior engineering, was founded in 1997. Couldn't sell history. It had to sell performance and modern design. But when its own parent company started pouring all that modern engineering into the new Indians, what did Victory really have left? The most tragic example was the Victory Octane. Released in 2017, the brand's final year, it was a fantastic liquid-cooled beast with 104 horsepower, aimed squarely at the younger, performance-hungry rider that Victory had always championed. But it was too little, too late. Critically, it shared around 35% of its parts with the Indian Scout, blurring the line so much that it felt less like a pure Victory and more like a repurposed Indian wearing a different costume. For Polaris, the business choice became agonizing clear. Funding two V-twin brands meant splitting their marketing, their R&D, and their focus. To truly take the fight to the giant Harley-Davidson, they had to place one big, decisive bet. They bet on the brand with the legendary name and the incredible growth. Victory's death wasn't a failure, it was a strategic sacrifice on the altar of capitalism. That cold-blooded decision left thousands of passionate owners feeling like they'd been betrayed, stranded with an orphan brand. My father was one of those owners. He's an avid supporter of the brand and what inspired this video, honestly. He and so many others bought into the promise of a modern American motorcycle rebellion, only to watch its own creator pull the plug. So now I want to hear from you guys. If you were a Victory owner or if you were part of that rebellion, share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear them. On January 9th, 2017, the official announcement came. Polaris was winding down all operations for Victory motorcycles. In a press release, CEO Scott Wine called it an incredibly difficult decision, but admitted the move was to improve profitability and strengthen their market position against their main competitor. For the boardroom, it was logical. For the riders, it felt like the end of an era. Polaris promised to help dealers liquidate their bikes and importantly committed to providing parts and honoring warranties for 10 years until 2027. It was a small comfort for owners who now held the keys to bikes they loved, but whose features were suddenly clouded by dwindling support and cratering resale values. So what is Victory's true legacy? It's complicated. On one hand, it's a cautionary tale about what it takes to challenge an icon. Victory built objectively fantastic motorcycles, but they learned that to compete in a world defined by Harley-Davidson's 100-year story, you might need more than just superior engineering. But on the other hand, Victory was not a failure. It was the ultimate Trojan horse. Polaris has openly stated that the knowledge, the factories, and the engineering muscle they built during Victory's 18-year run were the foundation for Indian's spectacular relaunch. The spirit of Victory didn't die, it was absorbed. When you see the performance of a modern Indian FTR 1200 or the power of a Challenger, you are seeing the ghost of Victory's DNA. Its relentless pursuit of better and faster forced the new Indian to be more innovative from day one. Victory may be gone, but it left a deep mark. It was the brand that dared to wake the king, that proved a modern American V-twin could be reliable, powerful, and exciting. In making Harley-Davidson take notice, it paved the way for the very company that would replace it. It will forever be a fallen champion, a testament to what happens when you build the future, and a stark reminder of how quickly that future can be sacrificed for the past. So if you guys enjoyed this breakdown, I would really appreciate if you consider liking and subscribing. I love doing these historical videos, these background videos for the industry that I love. And this one hits home. My dad is a massive Victory fan, and it's just crazy how a brand can come and go. And yeah, like I said, would love to know your thoughts. And until next time, guys, we'll see you on the next one.